Hello, Dwayne here. I want to discuss how I set up a Zoom video session so you can record a karaoke performance on minimal equipment. I'm going to switch the screen over so you can see what I'm talking about. This is a laptop that I'm using. You can use any device here as long as they have a USB 3 input. And I'll show you what that looks like. You probably are familiar with that. On the side of this laptop, it's got a little USB ports, and you see I've got something plugged in there already. That's this right here. That is the USB cable that's going to the second component that you're going to need for this, which is a mixer. This is a ProFX mixer that I got online from Amazon for $57 or something like that. Not very expensive. And it's got a cable on the back, output cable that goes straight to that USB port I'm showing. That's what it is plugged into it right there. These are the two main pieces you need. Now the microphone is and microphone cable are going to plug right into the mixer. Right here is that cable plugging in right there. In addition to the microphone, in this case, I have a place to play the track. Now the track doesn't play on this laptop. Track plays from some other source. In my case, I use this cell phone that I'm holding right now to play the karaoke tracks that I get from YouTube or online. And I plug my phone into this mixer right here. You see where these two inputs right here are? Those are coming from my cell phone. And also play my guitar through this mixer. And this particular mixer has a cool feature. It's got a line input for an 1/8" cable, which is handy because that's what my guitar uses. Really cool. So I have 3 inputs, and I have those 2 cables right there that are stereo input from my cell phone. I have that stereo input right here from my guitar, and the microphone input. Each input has its own control for volume. Here's the microphone level. This is the level for the track. This is the level for the guitar. And it has effects if you want to use them. I don't really use them. I think I use a little effect for the microphone, but they're separately. You can put effects on everything separately. Now, that's the main things that you need. Now, this mixer also has outputs right here that can go to a PA system or to powered speakers. And I'm using them. I mean, I have them something plugged in here, but I don't use those, and you don't need those, because in place of that, I use right here is a headphone jack that comes with the mixer, and I connect that to my headphones, and I can hear the result of the mixed output through headphones. And you notice in the videos I am wearing the headphones as I'm performing, because I prefer that. If you don't want to be seen wearing headphones, though, you can turn on their powered speakers or PA systems. I've got the 2 speakers on each corner of the room that sometimes I record with those. But again, not necessary. Now, for the technical details of how the sound gets into the computer, the reason I go through all this trouble is that the output from this mixer, it's a digital output, and it needs to go directly into the computer and be saved as a digital file to get the optimum performance. And when you plug in this ProFX through the USB port, right away, there's it goes off to the internet, and it downloads a driver for the ProFX that will allow the laptop your laptop to replace its normal microphone with input from the mixer. And this, when I'm doing my performance, the cable here has the laptop here has the camera that records the action. It's also got a microphone, but it doesn't, that microphone gets cut off and it uses the Pro FX for its microphone. So nothing goes into this machine except what comes out of that, the result that comes out of that Pro FX mixer. And so you can see that here. I'll show you, this is Windows 10, but it can be different on different devices. This is Windows 10, and this is the sound output now. And this is the output is what you hear out of the laptop, and input is what comes into the laptop through the microphone. And you'll notice on the output that it's set to come through the speakers that are built into this laptop. But on the input, it says Pro FX. That magic happens when you connect the Pro FX to your system. It automatically loads a driver that allows you to choose what microphone you want to use. And if you see this drop-down box, I can bring it around here. See the drop-down box, you'll see that it can use either the microphone or the Pro FX. And in my case, I'm using the Pro FX. And that's good. So the only thing that's going to come in here is a digital output from the mixer. And when I record a Zoom session, that the Zoom session will be running on this machine. And it's a fake Zoom session, but in Zoom here, when you're familiar with the Zoom screen, it says new meeting. I just started a new meeting, but I don't invite anyone to the meeting or anything, just the meeting comes up. And when it does, I hit there's a record feature. I just record, and once I start recording and I do my performance, it will automatically save the performance to the disk in a certain place. It'll bring up a dialog box and show you where it's recorded the meeting to, and away you go. It's an MP4 format, which is a standard video audio file. And so that's basically how it works. Now, as far as connecting to Pro FX, you know what microphone inputs look like, and that's pretty simple. But other inputs can get kind of complicated. But the main thing I use for hooking my cell phone in as the source for my track is I use a converter cable, just a cable that you can get on Amazon. And on one end of the cable, it's got 1/4-inch banana plugs, the kind that the Pro FX box uses for input. But on the other end of this cable, there is a standard 1/8-inch plug. Let's see if I can get it to come in focus there. This is the kind of plug that you use for headphones on your cell phone. And so I'm trying to get it to come in focus. Anyway, that's a standard cell phone input. It sure doesn't want to focus, does it? Anyway, so you plug this end into your cell phone, plug that into the Pro FX, start your track playing on your cell phone, and it'll go through the mixer and into your Zoom session. Now on my guitar, I've got a guitar amp and I've got an output from the guitar amplifier, and that goes through some converters that I made. This is not going to apply to you, but I made a converter so that it can go to a standard 1/8-inch input and end up in the Pro FX right there. So I've got three things. I got my voice, I got the guitar, I've got the stereo track all being run, and I start the Zoom session, hit the record button, and once I start everything going out, I record my session. It ends up as an MP4 video file, and voila, you're done. The only other thing that I'm leaving out of this tutorial is that when I got done, I had a lot of dead time before the session started and some dead time after it was done. So I use a video editor that I got from online somewhere, but just a standard video editor, so I could chop off the bad stuff on the front and the bad stuff on the end. But that's not necessary, but that's the only thing I haven't shown you. I have a keyboard here that's actually Trish's, but it's got an 8-inch output, or in European, it's 125 millimeter. But that plug I was showing you, yeah, it has that kind of output on the back of it. And so if I wanted this keyboard to go through in my session, I can just run a cable over into my ProFX mixer, and away you go. This is another mixer I have. It's exactly the same, only it's a 12 input mixer, so you can put in 4 microphones and a whole lot more standard inputs. But otherwise, it's the same. It uses the USB 3 interface, and it works as well. Okay, so at least that gives you an introduction. We can talk more about this later if you have questions. Okay, all right.